In this video, I'll talk about 5 or so things that you might not know about ribbing. If you're a subscriber, welcome back. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm happy to have you here. Ribbing in knitting is a stitch pattern that produces vertical columns of alternating knits and purls in varying widths. Stockinette stitch alternates with reverse stockinette stitch. These vertical stripes are called wales, W-A-L-E-S. This is a term often found being used with corduroy fabric. So the wales in corduroy fabric are also stripes, vertical stripes, and these can be in varying widths. So the vertical stripes in ribbing are also called wales. In ribbing, these wales are typically the same width, 1 by 1 rib, for example, or 2 by 2 rib. But you can have varying widths of wales. You could have a 2 by 3 rib, and so on. When the wales are the same width, the knits and the purl columns are the same widths, then the finished fabric will not curl, it will lay flat. It will also look the same on both the right side and the wrong sides. Ribbing has a very strong tendency to contract horizontally due to the stitches alternating or receding and moving forward. Knit stitches want to move forward and purl stitches want to move back. 1 by 1 ribbing, as seen here, is more elastic than 2 by 2 ribbing. And so on. When stating gauge in a pattern, it is important to state whether this gauge is measured as stretched or unstretched or slightly stretched, since all of these gauges could be different. The gauge, when relaxed and unstretched, will be a higher number than slightly stretched and even higher than fully stretched. To help eliminate or minimize the bump or ridge that you can get at the top of your ribbing when transitioning from ribbing to stockinette stitch, you can try working a row in the last row of your ribbing with slip stitches. If the right side was facing, you would slip all of the knit stitches with the yarn in back and purl the purl stitches. This elongates that knit stitch and brings it forward a little bit and minimizes the bump that you can get there at the top of your ribbing. When working flat, in order to balance visually the ribbing, you will need a full ribbing multiple plus a half a ribbing multiple. So for instance, a 1 by 1 rib requires a multiple of 2 stitches plus 1 extra stitch in order to be balanced and begin with a knit stitch and end with a knit stitch. For 2 by 2 ribbing, you would need a stitch multiple of 4 stitches plus 2, so that you can begin with a column of 2 knit stitches and end with a column of 2 knit stitches. Because you're switching between knits and purls while working ribbing, the yarn has to move forward between the needles, and it uses extra yarn there in that transition between a knit and a purl. You can therefore get some enlarged knit stitches. Here is an enlarged column, slightly enlarged, at the left edge of this knit column. And that's because there's excess yarn when you switch between a knit and a purl stitch. There are some methods to try to help mitigate this very common tension issue. And I have some tips in a video that I will link above that you could give a try if you are finding that you're having enlarged left column knit stitches. So those are some things that you may or may not have known about ribbing. Were any of these new to you? Let me know in the comments below. Do you have something about ribbing that wasn't mentioned in this video that you'd like to share? Please comment below. I hope this was helpful. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and thank you so much for watching.